Now we're going to create this 3D model using Catia V5. That is a speech that I always say when I start my video. So analyzing the 3D model, what I'm going to do is to start by this shape. Bear with me, this one. I'm going to sort it along this direction with this magnitude. Alright, there is one thing that I should take into account for me to create that shape, and it is this hole. We're going to see this later, but this hole is a through hole. That means that this hole is actually like a pocket through the entire part. Now, then I'm going to create this wall. I think that it is better if I point it like this. Yep. This wall. Of course, I have to take into account these circles. So we will. Then we're going to create these circles, extrusion. And finally, we're going to do the legs. Right? That is the methodology that we are going to follow. Now, as always, there are two things that we should know before starting with a 3D model. The first one is the unit system that the exercise it's using, in this case the engineering draw. So as always, this engineering draws made by Luis Miguel Huerfona Garzón does not contain any information about it. Should, right? It is not mandatory. Why is that? Because if I find, for example, this measure, this dimension, and I cannot find any unit system, maybe next to it, or maybe in a little note within a box that usually goes right here, that box or that background sheet depend on the normativity that the author is taking like in consideration for he or she to create the engineering draw. So I said that this is not mandatory, because if you do not find any information about that, you can assume that these are millimeters, right? So that is what we're going to do. We're going to first assumption, this is millimeters. Now we're going to start by creating the view that contains the most information possible. All right, this is the one that contains the most information possible. As you can see right here, I have a huge amount of dimensions that compared with this view and this view, this has the most. That is why I wanted to start by this model. Now we're going to start. We're going to start by clicking on start. Once again, mechanical design, part design. This is our tutorial. I don't really remember. I think that's 24, maybe 25. So 24, enter. Right, we have access. Now we're going to create a sketch that has to be on the top view. So we're going to see this like this. So this is the XY plane. We're going to click on it. And then what I want to do is to create just half of the sketch of the profile. Why is that? Because as you can see, this part is exactly the same as this one, but mirrored. Right? So I can create just this part and then create a mirror of it. That is what we are going to do. So we're going to create this profile with without the rounded shapes. We're going to do that later. So we're going to click on profile. As always, I do not care about the dimensions yet. I just care that the profile that I create looks like the one we have right there. And finally till here. Right, there we have it. Double click. I want to start All right, I made a mistake. Control C, escape, Control C, escape, Control C. Now I'm going to eliminate this line because I forgot to create one line that we have right here. This line till here and here. All right, there we go. As you can see, this constraint has been created, but this is something that I don't need, so I just click on it and I click delete, the delete button. Now double click and I can start creating the dimensions that I need. So for example, I need this one, this dimension, let me see, this dimension, this dimension, the entire part, right here. Let me see, this is in white because I can move it. Remember the code of colors. If you had some lines in black, in white, sorry, yeah, that means that you can move it. The green ones means that you cannot, that are perfectly defined. Now I can move these in this direction because, yep, shoot. Constrain this part. This part, I already know this. And finally, yeah, this part. Alright, we're going to click on Edit Multi-Constraint for us to change the dimensions that we have right there. As you can see, we are working in millimeters. This is something that you can change by this is something that you can change, sorry, by clicking on Tools, Options, Parameters and Measures, Units, and right here we have the unit system that we are currently using. We need millimeters, so okay. And now we can continue. It is being shown in orange, the dimension that I'm currently changing. And in green, the dimensions that I've not changed yet, and you will see that it is going to show in blue the dimensions that I've changed. So I'm going to change this to 6. This is a 25. This is 45. This is 88. This is 48. This is 10. This is 35. Finally, this is 150 divided by 2. Alright, why these dimensions? Well, because I'm creating this part, then this 150 transforms into half of it. That means 75. This is a 35 because of the same reason. This is a 45 because of the same reason. Right here I have this dimension, which is 25, the one that I've put right there. 48 and 88, once the two of them I put it exactly right there. And finally, right here I have a radius of 6 millimeters. That means that the measure between this point and this point is as well 6 millimeters. So okay, and right there we have it. Now I'm gonna click on every single one of them, maintaining the Control key for me to select all of them, and I'm going to create a mirror with respect of this axis. Now I have to change this to align for construction purposes. Right there we have it. I'm getting out of this sketch. I'm going to extrude it. So extrusion. This has a dimension of 10 millimeters, as you can see right here. So 10, enter. But we forgot to create a hole that I set at the beginning of the video. So I'm getting in once again, and I have to create this hole. This is a 32 millimeter of diameter hole. The wall. This is a mistake. This shouldn't be done, because when you are doing some research in tolerances, this is a part of the topic that we are looking right now, but this should not be done, or this should not be done, because this means this. You can look for it in the tolerances chart and you'll find it. Now I've created the circle. I have to deselect this tool. I need this dimension and the diameter. Now the diameter is 32 and the dimension is 28. Alright, right there we have it. It refresh itself by changing just the profile. So if there is no mistakes, Catia V5 is going to refresh itself. Now I'm going to click on sketch once again, but I want to create the sketch with respect of the geometry that we just created. Now I need this, and this line. We will call it within the sketch that we are currently doing right here, and I'm going to create an offset. So I select this tool, offset, and all I have to do is to maintain the click on the below part of the profile that we just selected, because if I maintain it right here, it is going to be created above the line, and I need it at the bottom. So right there I need an offset of 10 millimeters, so 10, enter. Right there we have it. Now I have to close the sketch. Remember, when you're working in Catia V5, every sketch must be closed and you cannot have any crossed lines. Everything should be perfect. Now I'm going to define the 10 millimeters. I should get rid of this line because this is going to be a problem later. I should connect this and this using the right click and coincidence. There we have it. Now we are going to create this and this line taking into account this circle, so I'm going to need this circle as well. Click on it, project 3D elements for construction purposes. Okay, click on circle, deactivate this tool. Looking for the center. I didn't get it, so all I have to do is to click right here and right here, and concentricity. Right there we have it. And now this has a diameter of 50. So here, double click, 50, enter. Now I have to create two lines, or one, that must be, that must be tangent with this circle. Right there we have it. And I'm going to say, because of these moves like this, that this should be horizontal line object, horizontal no, sorry, vertical. Right there we have it. Click on it. I'm going to create once again a mirror with respect of this axis. Right there we have it. And I should get rid of every single line that I do not need. So I'm gonna use the quick trim, double click. This line I do need, this don't, this I don't, and this I don't. Right there we have it. Getting out of this sketch. I'm going to extrude this, and I'm going to extrude it 35 millimeters minus 10. So 25 millimeters. Right there we have it. Now we are going to create the two circles, concentrical circles that we have right here. And all I have to do is to call this circle and this circle. So it's always for construction purposes right here. And I'm going to create one above the other, the same two circles. Right there we have it. Getting out of this sketch, and I'm going to extrude this using the path definition tool. I'm going to extrude them 48 millimeters minus 10. Why is that? Because remember that I'm creating the sketch on this face. So right here I have 38.5 and 48. Now this is going to be to 38 millimeters. Enter. Right there we have it. Now what's left is to create the two legs. So for us to create them, we need this information. Now this leg is created with respect of this face, so click on a sketch and I'm going to select this face. Now I'm going to create one circle right here and one line right here with respect of the origin. As you can see, the leg is created with respect of the origin and it is tangent with this circle. So this circle has a diameter of 38. So 38 millimeters. Enter. Right here we have that the dimension from here till here it's 66 millimeters. So I can look for the edge and for the center of the circle. 66. Enter. And I'm going to say that this and this circle, maintaining the control key, right click. Alright, sorry, using this tool, constraints, has to be tangent. So right there we have it. And from the edge till the center, once again, I have 28 millimeters. So here we have this till here, 28. Now this is a huge mess because I don't think that this engineering draw was made correctly. Why is that? Because I know already that I have right here a radius of 10, but this is not created with respect of the center. The center should be around here. All right, this is less than a quarter of a circle. Now I cannot find any information because for when I want to create this leg till here, I should be able to find, or what I need is either this dimension. I'm going to say that this is tangent. tangent, or this dimension, for me to have everything correctly defined. But as you can see, I cannot find any information about this. Alright? This is a huge mistake. Why is that? Because if I assume that this leg is exactly the same as this one, that is a mistake. I cannot assume anything. For when you want to create something, you cannot assume anything. Everything must be within the engineering draw, right? This is a dotted line. That means that right here I have a hole. If I want to say that this is exactly the same as this, I should have created a symmetry line. Alright, think that I would be able to do with an auxiliary view of only this part. Why is that? Because if I create one symmetry line right here, that means that the whole part of this is equal to this. And that is a mistake as well, because this part is not equal to this. So what I'm going to do, because I don't have the person who did this next to me, which is Luis Miguel Huérfano Garzón, is to assume that right here I have a symmetry line. Alright, remember, this is a mistake. You cannot do this. I'm doing this because of educational purposes, right? For us to be able to continue the exercise. So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to create one construction line that it is going to work like on my symmetry axis. Now, as you can see, this has not been created vertical, so I'm going to change it to vertical. And I'm going to say that this, with respect of this, is going to be right there. All right. So, well, now I should know this. The extrusion is 10 millimeters, but the circle is not 10 millimeters. It's 16 with respect of the center. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm not going to use this part of the circle yet. So I'm getting out of this sketch, and I'm going to extrude it only 10 millimeters on the other direction. Okay. Now I'm going to create a plane of construction at the exact middle of this leg. So I'm going to click on plane. I'm going to click the plane that we need to move. So is this one, which is parallel to the one that I need. And I'm going to move it, I'm going to create it with respect of the face. Here we have it. And I'm going to move it on the other direction, just 5 millimeters. Half of the extrusion that we have made before. I'm going to create the sketch right here. I'm going to call this circle for construction purposes. Now I'm gonna create one more right here, looking for the concentricity, and I'm going to create the hole. This hole has a diameter of 20. Enter. Right there we have it, getting out of this sketch. And I'm going to extrude it mirror extent. That means that it is going to extrude from the origin to forward this direction, towards this direction, 10 millimeters. So I have to use just 8. I'm going to repeat why. Right here we have 16 millimeters. The origin of the sketch has been created at the exact middle. So if I shoot this 8 millimeters and 8 millimeters, I'll have the 16 millimeters. So preview and okay. All right, we're going to create a mirror, but for the 3D elements that we have created using this tool. So mirror, I want to mirror the path that we just create and the path of the leg. So right here I can see 2 elements. Now the mirroring element is the symmetry axis. It is going to be this plane that is at the exact middle of the whole part of the whole 3D model. So here we have it, preview. Okay. And that would be most of the part, guys. That would be actually the entire part. The thing that we have to do right now is to create these 2 holes and the rounded shapes, the corners, the fillets. So bear with me while I do this. All I have to do is to create one sketch right here. I have to create a circle with its respective dimensions or constraints. This is 12, enter. This is 12, enter. This has a diameter of 10 millimeters, so 10, enter. As you can see right here, because this means 2 holes of 10 millimeters through. Now I'm going to create a symmetry or a mirror of this circle right here. I'm getting out of this sketch. I create the pocket with respect of the profile that we just created. This has to be up to last. Preview, okay. Right there we have it, and I'm going to start creating the edge fillets. So double click. I'm going to start creating the 6 millimeters radius. So right here we have 1, 2, and that's it. 6 millimeters. Right here we have another one. So 3 of them. So 6 millimeters, and I start selecting the ones that I need. So right here I have one, right here I have one, to the other side of the 3D model as well. Here, right here, preview. Okay. Now we're going to create the 12 millimeters. 1, 2, 3 once again. So 12. Right here I have one, right here I have one, and right here. No, this is not one of them. And right here. You. Okay. And finally the 3 millimeters. So right here I have one, and right here I have one. Preview, okay. Okay, this is cancel. This should be not 12 but 3. So double click, 3 millimeters, enter. And right there we have it. This is how, guys, you can create this 3D model using Catia V5. Alright, what's left is to hide maybe some planes. So select them with the right click, with the right click, hide. And right there we have it, our final result.